As soon as I'm home, I stick the kettle on and pledge allegiance to the king. While I'm drinking my tea to decompress from the day, my existential dread gets interrupted by the torrential downpour that just started right outside my window, even though it was only 5 minutes ago. I complain about the atrocious weather, even though I live alone, so there's no one to hear me tut, before whipping out my backup cup of tea that I made in preparation for an occasion just like this, where I finish with my tea, but not my 1,000-yard stare. Once I manage to convince myself that there's only 10 more months until summer, I head to the kitchen to make a cup of tea and decide what to have for dinner. But then I remember that the only meal I know how to make is beans on toast, and I've already had that for breakfast and lunch. So I grab a quick snack and decide that it's that time of day where I have to switch from caffeine to alcohol. So I make my next 2 teas to go, which should last long enough to get me to Wetherspoons. On my way to the pub, I walk past a queue of people and decide to join in because they seem to be pretty good at it, and I can't resist the temptation of a well-organised social event that doesn't actually require any social interaction. I hang around in the queue for a few hours before realising that I am now without tea or beer, and so pluck up the nerve to ask the stranger in front,
Excuse me, hi. Sorry, excuse me. Are you in the queue? You are? Oh, great. What are we actually queuing for?
He didn't know what the queue was for either, and my crippling dependence on addictive liquids means that if I don't get tea or beer soon, I will do something that will make the front page of the village newsletter. So I grab some tins from the corner shop and the best cuisine the UK has to offer, and head home to make a nice cup of tea. It started raining again on the walk back, but it's okay, because there was a nice dog walker for me to complain about the downpour with, so I've honestly had a great evening. I want to try and get an early night tonight, so I'm mixing my tea and beer together to make sure I still get my daily quota, but I'm not up all night drinking. Or pissing. Then it's time for me to head to bed and get some sleep, and if you don't include the withdrawal tremors, toilet breaks, and insomnia caused by the anxiety and despair of the cost of living crisis, I managed to get a full 3 hours. My alarm then goes off at the only point where I'm actually asleep, but luckily my insuperable caffeine dependency is more than enough to get me out of bed and in range of the kettle. While I have my first cup of tea, I practice my small talk to use with my colleagues because I'm way too socially awkward to think up conversations on the spot.
Could you believe that bloody weather yesterday? Could you believe that bloody weather yesterday? Could you believe that bloody weather yesterday?
Then I have a cup of tea while I brush my one real tooth and check the weather both out the window and on my phone because I've got a spare 5 minutes, and that's pretty much my only personality trait. Apart from tea. After making a cup of tea to take with me, it's time to head off to work again, but then